But I think it's fair to say that the reason we have come to Fresno is because this is going to be, we believe, the defining moment in rescuing the union here at UHW, rebuilding our union in California, and making it possible to do all of our healthcare organizing and our healthcare work across all of this country. I've said to many people before that our union as a whole, SEIU, cannot be strong and vibrant and healthy if UHW is sick. And UHW has been in a position where for the last 2 years, prior to the trusteeship, the chief focus of the union was having an internal fight with our national union. Not doing the day-to-day work of the members, but figuring out how to tear down the things that members need and how, in their own words, to make the union ungovernable if a trusteeship were to happen. And I think that we've all come to Fresno because we know, instinctively, all of us, that no union can be as strong as it needs to be if there are efforts out there to take some chunk of it out of its home and put it over on the side and then tell the lie that somehow workers are going to be stronger after they're divided. We all know that's wrong, and I think that's why we've come here to Fresno, is to make sure that doesn't happen. But I also think it's important to acknowledge that here in Fresno, you might have noticed, we're not in a fancy hotel ballroom. There's really not good air conditioning here. It is hot. We're kind of in a barn. That's what this room is like. Fresno is not a place that very many of us would have found all on our own without this reason to come here. And the reason I say that is that too often in the union, we talk about the union like all of the important stuff goes on in Washington, D.C., or New York City, or Los Angeles, or San Francisco. But sisters and brothers, I think that we all know that sometimes, if you want to get the job done, and if you want to defend and protect what really matters, you got to go somewhere that's not sexy. You got to go somewhere that's not glamorous. You got to go somewhere that's not Hollywood. You got to go to Fresno. And some of us were talking yesterday that here in Fresno, here at the fairgrounds, we got tractors, we got livestock, we got farm implements, and we're all here with our work boots. And I think it is absolutely fitting and proper that the place we are going to defend this union is not in a fancy ballroom, not in New York City, but we are coming to where you get your hands dirty and dirt under your fingernails, and you get down and you get busy and you do what needs to get done, and that's what we're going to do for the next 5 minutes. Fresno to tell the truth the way Lisa Brown told the truth. We have come to Fresno because we want to bear witness to the injustice that was done by the previous leaders of UHW who thought that it was okay to put the interests of the members of this union behind their own personal political ambitions and their own greed for power. That is wrong, and that's why we're here, to bear witness to that and to right that wrong. And the choice for our home care members here in Fresno is very simple. Sometimes the world is a lot simpler than we make it. The choice is, in the worst economy in living memory in this country, when we're facing the worst budget crisis that we have ever faced in the state of California, do you want to be in a union with 700,000 members in California, 350,000 healthcare workers, and 2 million workers across the country? Or do you want to be part of the National Union of No Healthcare Workers? Which one do you want to be part of? people who could care less about what happens to the members of this union, not just in California, but all across the country. That's why we came to Fresno. That's why I think you came to Fresno. And we're going to get that job done. So finally, the job that we need to do in the next week and in the next 2 weeks. I think when I look around the room, the group that comes to Fresno with their work boots, this is a group who all understand old-fashioned rules. This is a group that you might call old school. And I know I've talked to a lot of people in this room, and people know what that means when you talk about old school. There's a right way to do things, and there's a wrong way to do things. And the job that we have to do over the next week and the next 2 weeks as these ballots go out is that we have to just not win. We have to just not prevail. But we have to run up the score and we have to drive a stake through the heart of the thing that is SEIU-UHW. We got to put them in the ground and bury them before Sisters and brothers, this is not an election that we want to win 52 to 48. This is not an election we want to win by a few hundred votes. This is an election that we want to send a message to everybody who wants to think again that if you think you're going to mess with home care workers after Fresno and Sacramento or San Francisco or Santa Clara or any of those other counties, we want them to believe when we are done here that it is hopeless. You can't win, you can't pretend, you cannot lie, cheat, or steal your way. So what we're asking you to do in the next week or two is we want you to be relentless. We do not want there to be a home care worker in the county of Fresno that hasn't had a straight-up conversation with us where we go through the facts and we get down and we get dirty and we tell it like it is. There is a very simple choice here. You can be part of a powerful union and protect your future, or you can be part of something that's got no members and no resources and is as bankrupt as the day goes long when it comes to integrity. In other words, what we got to do here, my old school friends, is we have to administer an old school ass whipping over the next few years. I know everybody knows what that means. We got to give them a butt whipping that they will never forget, so they don't even think that they can take this mess outside of Fresno and bring it anywhere else. And while we are administering that butt whipping, we got to make sure that the Fresno home care workers start to rebuild their unity. Because it's not enough to just kick the tails of this other side. We got to make sure that we put ourselves in a position to fight back these home care cuts, fight back the budget cuts, and once again be the union that we ought to be. 700,000 members strong in California, 350,000 health care members, and 2 million members across the United States of America. That is the job that we have come here to do. It is going to be hot, we are going to be tired, but we are going to have a good time. And a year from now, or 3 years from now, or 5 years from now, we are